What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the Big Blue in the Bronx YouTube channel. Be sure to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pop video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Welcome all the new subscribers that are coming off the Rodon video. Actually, not the Rodon video, but the 5 moves video for the Yankees. And, of course, the Giants episode where I was talking about where they got their ass beat and how they got their ass beat. But with that being said, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts for Twin Bill and Big Blue in the Bronx. Just a headliner for the rest of the week. Tonight we'll be doing the Thursday night football game between the 49ers and the Seahawks. I'll most likely be doing that alone unless I get a reply from somebody in terms of co-hosting. So that's going to be that. Tomorrow night, I don't know what time yet. I'll probably put it in the community notes. It is the premiere of the Friday Night Knicks podcast. Luca and Donald, they're going to do a great job. Saturday will be the Big Blue in the Bronx podcast, previewing the Commanders game. Sunday, nothing, and then Monday, back for boys in the Big Apple. So maybe I'll release a video on Sunday just to keep the content flowing, but appreciate all the new subscribers. You are definitely going to feel home here. I cherish all my subscribers and all that sort of stuff. But today we're going to talk about a topic that's been floating around Twitter and all these sort of platforms ever since there was a snippet of rumors regarding the guy we're talking about today, which is Max Fried. And he's been in the league for several years. It's hard not to know Max Fried. And Buster Olney said that the rumors aren't true, but we're going to go with it anyway because some other sources are saying, well, it is true. Which would be very surprising to me. I don't know if he's dealt, but if the Yankees miss out on Rodon, this is a deal they need to consider fucking ASAP. We're going to go through the stats, the analytics first, and then we're going to go into the situation in comparisons to maybe him, Rodon, and how they would impact this rotation. So stats and analytics. Last year, Max Fried, 14-7, 2.48 ERA, total of 185.1 innings pitched in 30 starts. Gave up 12 home runs, which really isn't bad. Another guy that doesn't give up a ton of big shots. In terms of walks, 32, strikeouts 170, which is the second highest of his career, and 225 batting average against, which is not bad. But here comes the catch. He is not a very good postseason pitcher, and the Yankees really need that because whether we like it or not, they do contend year after year after year, whether they get far, they don't get far, whatever, and I have my own separate complaints about that. But in terms of postseason pitching, not very good. He is 2-4 in the postseason, 4.43 ERA in terms of his career. He's made a total of 10 starts, total of 61 strikeouts compared to 14 walks, giving him 8 home runs. To go off of 2022 when they faced the Phillies, Fried did make one start, 0-1, 3.1 innings pitched, 8 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. So not very good. Not very good overall. And I guess you could sort of cement the narrative that, yes, he is not a very good postseason pitcher. Obviously, Braves fans could tell me different, and I would love to learn from Braves fans about this guy as much as possible. It would help a lot. But Carlos Rodon, you really cannot make the same cemented narrative because the sample size is too small. And, where I've compared that before is Luis Severino, right? He was shit the first game he pitched in the postseason, which I believe was the wild card game in 2017. Didn't even last an inning. But he's cemented his way to be at least average in the postseason. You look at the stats and analytics. We went over the stats. Now it's time for the analytics. Off Baseball Savant, and I've been doing this recently with pitchers just to get to know them a little bit better. In terms of percentile rankings and all that stuff, he is above average to great in the categories of average exit velocity, hard hit percentage, expected batting average, expected slugging percentage, barrel percentage, walk percentage, chase rate, and curve spin. He's average in the categories of K percentage, whiff percentage, fastball velocity, and extension. And then in terms of fastball spin, he is very poor in that category. And maybe it's me, but based off of what I looked at earlier regarding the fastball. Maybe it's tailing in terms of velocity. Maybe it's just tailing a little bit, which not necessarily a good thing, but Braves fans, once again, fill me in. In terms of how he relies on his pitches, four-seam fastball 32.5% of the time, curveball 21.6%, slider 18.6%, changeup 14.1%, and sinker 13.2%, which, if he's not doing good with the sinker, well, Matt Blake couldn't specialize in that. But I do want him pitching with the number one pitch being the fastball. And hopefully he gets better than it in that area, So you go to the stats. With the fastball in 2022, gave up a batting average of .250, 38 strikeouts, 7 home runs, and also he had a whiff percentage of 14.7, 15% put away. Curveball wise, a little bit better, 174 batting average, 50 strikeouts. You go to the whiff percentage, 40.2, put away percentage, 27.3. Didn't give up any home runs. Slider-wise, 4 home runs given up, 29 strikeouts, 239 batting average, 28.3 whiff percentage, and a put away percentage of 22.8. Changeup-wise, 207 batting average, 1 home run given up, 37 strikeouts, 36.7 whiff percentage, 23.9 put away percentage. And then sinker-wise, 16 strikeouts, 269 batting average, 20.1 whiff percentage, and 21.3 put away percentage. So, with that being said, let's start a little bit of a comparison and talk about what it would take to get Max Fried. So, obviously, the only reason I'm making this video in terms of content is because if the Yankees miss out on Carlos Rodon, now, obviously, we don't know where the talks are going. There was that first offer thrown out to Carlos Rodon. It was like 5 years, $125 million. Obviously, that's not what Rodon wants, but it's a starting offer from the New York Yankees. But if they miss on Rodon, they need to have a plan B. In my personal opinion, you cannot go into next year with a rotation of Cole, Sevy, Cortez, and have 2 unreliable guys as your 4 and 5. Sevy gets hurt a lot, so there's that. Cole, as much as he's an ace in the postseason, in the regular season, he's not very good. I would rather he be good in the postseason, and I've critiqued him, and I've also complimented him, but I just don't see that as a very good rotation. Now, it could be the best in the AL East, or maybe even compete with the Orioles, depending on where you rank the Yankees in terms of their rotation right now, but they need a power lefty. The Yankees do not have a power lefty. Montgomery wasn't that with the Yankees. Cortez isn't that. James Paxton, meh. CC Sabathia was the last power lefty to be on the Yankees roster, and I think Rodon could be that. Max Fried has the potential to be that. Now, obviously, you're taking a risk with both. Rodon really hasn't cemented any narrative about him being a bad or good postseason pitcher, at least in my opinion, because the sample size is like 2 starts. Max Fried, on the other hand, not a very good postseason pitcher. You move on. Rodon, better with the fastball as of right now in terms of analytics and how it's getting hit. Fried needs to work on that a little bit. It seems like he's losing it a tad. Once again, Braves fans, please feel free to enlighten me and anyone else who knows about Max Fried. Risk-wise, a lot of people are coming out here, Carlos Rodon, right? He's injury prone. I don't think so. Obviously, he has an injury past, but the last 2 years, he stayed relatively healthy, and he's pitched really well. With the Giants this past year, the White Sox the year before, that's why I talked about him in 2022 in March. I said the Yankees should get him. A lot of people really didn't listen to me. Now everybody's on that train again, and everybody wants Carlos Rodon. So you have that risk in paying him big money. What is the risk you take with Max Fried? Well, you give up prospects. And to be completely transparent, for 2023, the estimated salary for Fried is chump change. That's $12 million. I mean, Sevy's getting paid more. I think it's like $15 million that he's getting paid. Noah Syndergaard's paid like $13 million. But the point is, it's coming cheap for a very solid pitcher. And what would a trade look like? What would you need to throw in there if you're the Yankees to get a Max Fried? think Jason Dominguez is automatically on the table. He automatically needs to be a part of that trade. Now, if you look at the Yankees outfield right now, there is not really a spot for him. Really isn't. I mean, Judge is in right, Bader's in center. I think they should lock him up. And left field, I mean, there's not really a left fielder right now, but I think the Yankees will get one. We'll see whether it's Benintendi, Reynolds, Jake McCarthy, Varsho, or Alek Thomas, one of those guys. So in my opinion, they'll find a left fielder somewhere. Hopefully it's not Cabrera, because I don't want him pigeonholed into one position. So Dominguez is automatically thrown on the table. Now, in terms of pitching prospects, maybe you could throw a Randy Vasquez in there. I had the pleasure of meeting Randy Vasquez in 2021. Very nice guy. But with that being said, Vasquez, yeah, maybe you could throw in there to add to the pitching repertoire and the pitching youth movement that's currently going on in Atlanta. The one thing also as well is, first of all, those two guys, let alone, maybe a Deivi Garcia, that's not going to get the trade done. So you could throw out a Vasquez. You could throw out a guy like Jason Dominguez. But you're probably going to need to give up one of three guys, Austin Wells, Anthony Volpe, or Oswald Peraza. And the Yankees need a pivot plan if they're going to give up one of their primed shortstops, whether it be Peraza or Volpe. Now, the thing is, I personally don't know where the Braves are going in terms of their infield. Obviously, right now, their first baseman's Matt Olson. Their second base could be Ozzie Albies. Vaughn Grissom, shortstop, likely. Third base, Austin Riley. So where is the fit for a guy like Anthony Volpe or Peraza? If they want to wait years down the line for another shortstop or whatever the case may be, maybe you pull an Arias out of your ass and put him on the table. But obviously they let Dansby Swanson go into free agency for a good reason, being that they have some youth. So it would really be interesting to see what the Yankees would give up in a trade, knowing that their top guys are shortstops. And first base-wise, I mean, Matt Olson, he's been locked up for years. Travis d'Arnaud is there. They just traded for Sean Murphy. So it's going to be an interesting, off-season. It's really going to be an interesting, I would say, conversation to have if we get to that point where they miss out on Rodon and once the rumors strike, the Yankees are engaged in trade talks for Matt Fried with the Atlanta Braves. So in terms of pivot points, if they do take one of the shortstops, if you trade Peraza, you probably have to sign a guy like Dansby Swanson just to take that position over temporarily. And I know he's not going to take that. He probably wants a little bit more with the guys, like Trey Turner and Alexander Bogaerts, those guys getting 11-year deals and whatnot. Carlos Correa getting 13 years. So, with that being said, that may or may not be the best route. Volpe isn't ready yet, so you could maybe put Cabrera until the trade deadline at shortstop. Once again, not really a guy who's campaigning for him to be pigeonholed in one area. LeMahieu could be your second baseman. Maybe you could trade a guy like Gleyber Torres down there. That's another potential proposition, but it would take a guy like Volpe or Peraza. And if you trade Volpe, well, obviously you could pivot. You don't have to do as much moving around because you're not going to have Volpe and Peraza rotating at shortstop. That would be completely stupid. That would be utterly stupid. So that's my thoughts. Just to recap it overall, stupid fly in the room. Obviously, I would love the Yankees to go get Carlos Rodon. If they don't, Max Fried is the go-get, in my personal opinion. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Peace out, guys. See you later, and stay cool.